Welcome to kindergarten, the transition to school process for students requiring special education supports and services. The transition into school is an exciting time for both parents and children, since entry to school can be more complex for students who require special education supports and services. Careful planning and coordination is required. Let's talk about some key steps that all parents or guardians should take to support the entry to school process. The first step is to complete a form called the Tell Us About Your Child form, while the second step is to complete the registration process at your child's home school. While kindergarten registration begins in February in all Hamilton-Wentworth District School Board schools, community agencies will have the transition to school packages for students requiring specialized services available for families in early December of the year before your child begins school. We ask all families to complete the Tell Us About Your Child form as soon as possible and to follow the instructions to send the completed forms to the HWDSB. Along with completing the Tell Us About Your Child form, please register for kindergarten digitally or in person at your child's home school starting in February. We ask that you also begin to gather any documents and connect with your existing community supports and let them know that you're planning on attending kindergarten in September. We will work closely with you and your family to provide opportunities for you to share this important information about your child with your child's school through a virtual transition to school meeting, a visit to your child's home school, as well as a kindergarten orientation. All of these opportunities will be designed to support you and your child as they enter into school in September. Once the Tell Us About Your Child form is received, you will be invited to attend a virtual transition to school meeting in the spring before your child enters school. At this meeting, parents or guardians, preschool service providers, healthcare professionals, and community support agencies, if applicable, will meet with the incoming school team to share information about your child and to develop an entry to school plan. Some documents you may wish to gather to share with the school team may include current or relevant assessments, samples of your child's work, preschool reports, a description of strategies that you use at home. This is a time for you to share your child's strengths, interests, and needs to support the school staff as they begin to plan for program and services that will be required when your child arrives in September. The goal of the transition to school process is for the school team to collect information about your child's specific needs and to prepare for the transition to school. Your family will also be invited to attend an in-person visit, as well as a kindergarten orientation event at your child's school. This will provide both you and your child an opportunity to meet the educators and to see both the school and the classroom environment. The school team will have questions for you as they get to know your child during the transition to school process. You may be asked questions such as, what are your child's strengths, interests, and needs? How does your child play with other children? What strategies work with your child at home? What supports does your child need for toileting, feeding, dressing? Does your child require any specific equipment? Some examples could be hearing aid, wheelchair, leg braces, braille materials. How does your child communicate their wants and needs? And what other community organizations support your child? There are many supports and services available at the Hamilton-Wentworth District School Board, and referrals to some specialized services teams may be completed with your consent during and after the transition to school meeting. For some students, referrals to our community partners may be made. An example of a community partner is school-based rehabilitation services through Ron Joyce Children's Center. Ron Joyce provides in-school rehabilitation services to enable student attendance and participation in educational settings. Some of their services include physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and speech and language pathology. These services are provided by staff from the Ron Joyce Children's Health Center. The transition to school meetings will be held in the spring, virtually, through MS Teams. You will receive communication from the school board with the specific date and time of your child's transition to school meeting. The email or phone number you provided to us on the Tell Us About Your Child form will be used to send you an invitation. Hamilton-Wentworth District School Board staff will support you every step of the way through the transition to school process. Each step will support both the school team as well as you and your family prepare for your child's entry to school. Please feel free to reach out to your homeschool or the Specialized Services Department if you have questions or concerns at any point during this process. Let's review the steps together. First, complete the Tell Us About Your Child form and follow the instructions to submit them to the HWDSB. Second, register your child at school. Remember, kindergarten registration begins in February. Next, you will be invited to a virtual transition to school meeting in the spring. You will hear from our Hamilton-Wentworth District School Board staff through the phone number or email you provide on the Tell Us About Your Child forms. Your child's homeschool will then offer an in-person visit to school opportunity for you and your family to see the school and school environment. Don't forget to watch for the Welcome to Kindergarten orientation event at your child's home school, where all families entering kindergarten in September will have the opportunity to learn all about kindergarten. Finally, watch for your Welcome to Kindergarten postcard sent to your home by your school team. This will provide you with essential information about school start dates and times. At HWDSB, we look forward to working with you and your family as you begin the entry to school process. We will be with you every step of the way.